Hello, my fellow humans of the internet. I'm Nessa, and this is Squared Circle Addicts. So, we're 4 days into the new year, and we're already being reminded that life is ever changing, just like professional wrestling is ever changing. And one of the biggest examples of that that's happened recently is the announcement of the women's tag team titles. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I heard this announcement, I was freaking happy. And I was like, finally, there's something more for the women to fight for other than the main women's title on their respective brands. Because think about it. For the men, we have the Intercontinental title. We have the United States title. We have the, over on NXT, they even have secondary titles because there's the UK Championship, there's the North American Championship, there's the tag titles, but then of course they have the main NXT title. So, all this time, I always thought, how come women don't have a secondary title? There's enough women in the WWE to make this happen. And now, it's finally happening, and I couldn't be any happier. There's still little knowledge of what this means for the landscape of WWE. I don't know if having women's tag team titles means that there's going to be tag champions on Raw, tag champions on SmackDown. I don't know if it's going to be dual branded. I believe that I read somewhere that it might be dual branded, but I think that's just people speculating like you and I. So, what does this mean for the WWE? Well, I'm not a fortune teller, so I can't tell you, but I can tell you what I would like it to mean for the WWE and what I think could happen and what it could possibly lead to. So I think everyone has the same general consensus that the inaugural tag team champions will most likely be the Boss and Hug Connection. And I have so much to say about that, and we'll get to that. But so that's the general consensus, that Bayley and Sasha are going to be the very first women's tag team title holders. And the main reason for people believing that is because those two are the ones that have been campaigning for the championship the longest, even way before it got announced, when it was just a rumor and just an idea that was tossed out there. They kept campaigning for it. They even did the Q&A segment with Alexa Bliss, and they mentioned that one of the goals that they want is to be Raw Tag Team Champions or Women Tag Team Champions. And I think a lot of us thought, okay, that means we're getting the titles, right? And it feels like this has taken forever because I feel like this is something that has been up in the air for a while. It's kind of like they were dangling it like a carrot, and they're like, oh, it's almost here. Nope, never mind. But now we're finally getting it, and I think that realistically, from a business standpoint, it does make sense to give the titles to Bayley and Sasha just because they're the more profitable ones in the sense of their merchandise sales are huge. And I think they have a big fan base. People love Bayley. People love Sasha. So I think making them the first women tag team champions, like, it makes sense from that standpoint, and it also makes sense from the standpoint of, if you think about it, Bayley and Sasha have had a crappy 2018. If you look at it from the angle of Bayley's side, it's like, yeah, she got to work with her best friend Finn, which is great. I'm sure she loved it. But it sucks because she didn't even win not the Mae Young Classic. She didn't even win the Mixed Match Challenge. People thought she was because it was going to be in San Jose, and I don't know if they changed it up last minute because Finn got injured, or if they realized that Carmella and R-Truth, what they had was, super popular and everyone loved it, which is fine. I'm not mad that they won. I love R-Truth and Carmella. I love what they're doing with them right now. I think it's brilliant. But I really did think that, B&B was going to win, and they didn't. And Sasha is someone who had a amazing performance of last year's Royal Rumble, and, I thought they were going to put her in the front running for the championship too, but then it never happened. It's kind of like they give them these start and stop storylines for Sasha and Bayley all year, and then nothing happens. So I think from that standpoint, yes, they do deserve to have these tag team championships because they bust their asses off. They're two of the most hardworking girls in the business right now, but they get forgotten about, and I don't get it. I really don't get it because I really think what they have is special. So, yeah, by all means, make them the first ever tag team women's champions. Like, I may not be 100% all for that, and that's what I'm going to get to, but from the bust your butt off perspective of things, I think, Sasha and Bayley definitely do deserve that. But you might be thinking, but Nessa, you love Bayley. Bayley's your favorite wrestler. Why wouldn't you want her to have titles? Why is your first instinct to be like, but no, I don't want that? Well, you might have guessed it based on my shirt that I have chosen to wear today. But I just think that if you are going to make a championship, and if you are going to make it like, inaugural title holders and who should hold them, I think the championships being tag team titles in itself should go to an actual tag team. And you might be thinking, but Boston Hub Connection is an actual tag team. They have a tag team finisher that they do together. They have a tag team name. They wear matching gear. Yes, that's all great. I love that. I think it's brilliant. But again, to me, Bayley and Sasha have never been an actual tag team. From the beginnings of their careers on NXT and then even into the main roster, in a sense, they have always been rivalries. Sasha has always been the heel. Bayley has always been the face. For 1 second last year, we thought, oh my god, they're turning Bayley heel, when she beat the crap out of Sasha and told her that she ain't shit. I know y'all remember that, because I do, because I was losing my mind. And I was like, finally, we're going to get Bayley versus Sasha on the main roster, on a pay-per-view where it deserves to be there. And then, it never happened. They made them go to therapy. And I was so upset. And now they're friends again. Like nothing ever happened. Like they didn't beat the crap out of each other. Like Bayley didn't beat up Sasha, or Sasha didn't beat up Bayley in the locker room. It's like, yeah, we're totally going to forget that. That never happened. And it just irritated me. And you have tag teams. And yes, I am wearing a Riot Squad shirt because I love the Riot Squad. I think that if a team should get the tag titles, it should be the Riot Squad. At least that's what I want, because I think it would be awesome. We have the New Day. The New Day is huge, right? The New Day has held the titles, 5-6 times now? And each time they've been able to compete under the Freebird rule. I think it would be amazing if the Riot Squad was able to compete under the Freebird rule, and you never knew who you faced. One night you could face Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan, and the next night it could be Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott, or Ruby Riott and Sarah Logan. Like, I don't know, I just think that would be brilliant. And not only that, but like, the WWE did like a backstage vignette segment thing with the Riot Squad about how they got their matching tattoos and, how they've been a team since their debut on the main roster. Now, I'll admit, when the Riot Squad got lumped together, I thought, Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, and Ruby Riott, that is such a weird combination. But it works, and I love it now, and I love their closeness, and I love how real it is, and how you see it on their social medias, and things like that. I don't know, to me, that's an actual team. In fact, it doesn't even have to be the Riot Squad. I would even want the Iconics to hold the championships before Bayley and Sasha, simply because the Iconics are an actual tag team. Billie Kay and Peyton Royce have been together from the very beginning, even in their NXT careers. And they've said it on interviews that everything they do in their career, they want to do together. They want to be a real tag team. I think someone like that is more deserving of being the first ever women's tag team champions, because it's the first ever. It's the first ever. And I think as something as big as first ever, it should go to an actual team, not just Bayley and Sasha, who are real life best friends, who hated each other their whole career, but now they love each other in a sense. I get it, they love each other in real life, but if we're keeping the kayfabe thing going, again, I think a real tag team should hold the titles. Even Mandy and Sonya Deville, I would choose over Bayley and Sasha because Mandy and Sonya have been together since their main roster call-ups. So, I don't know. I don't know if you guys think I'm crazy or if you can get my point, but that's where I stand on this situation. But don't get me wrong, there is a silver lining to Bayley and Sasha getting the titles. Again, I'm not saying that they don't deserve the championships because they do. They really do. They've worked their asses off last year. And I'm sure they'll be able to do it this year. And I think that's kind of WWE's way of rewarding them and being like, hey, thank you for what you've done for this company. So, I mean, again, it's not that they don't deserve them. I would love to see them hold the titles. I think maybe, them being the first isn't necessarily the choice I would make. But if they ever were like the second or the third title holders, I wouldn't mind. But the bright side of them holding the championships, and this is where I think it's going to go, depending on if, like I said, they decide to make it a full brand, a cross-brand type thing, or if each brand is going to have a title. But to me, this might lead to the rumor that we've been hearing for at least 2 years now, which is the Four Horsewomen versus the Four Horsewomen, WWE's Four Horsewomen, and then the Four Horsewomen of MMA, if you will, but now they're both in WWE, and that's a force that people have been wanting to see collide. At least I know that I've been wanting to see it. So I'm thinking, well, maybe it leads to that. There's rumors of WrestleMania being Becky versus Ronda for the championship, so maybe there's going to be something happening with that kicks that storyline into gear. And then, of course, like I said, the rumors about Bayley and Sasha being the first to hold the tag titles, and then you have Shayna on NXT where she can do pretty much anything. She could either still dominate, she could end Bianca Belair's undefeated streak, but I personally think she's gonna get called up to the main roster, which is why this whole 4 versus 4 could work. Because I think if the championship is cross-branded, then does that mean NXT is, eligible to possibly have some title holders? Because Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke, guess what? They're a tag team. So is that what it's ultimately going to lead to? And will we see either faction or maybe, each faction holding on to all 4 major titles? I mean, I could see it already. If we really wanted to do this, we could do Becky, have her on Raw because she challenges Ronda Rousey, and then Charlotte, for whatever reason, stays on SmackDown and she beats Asuka again, and then she's the SmackDown Women's Champion, and then as tag team, Bayley and Sasha could be the tag team. But then if you put it on the other group, that works too, because you could have Ronda retain at Mania, be the Raw Women's Champion. Shayna gets moved up to the main roster but goes to SmackDown, becomes SmackDown Women's Champion, and then Duke and Shafir representing in NXT but as tag team champions. But that's only if, it's a cross-branded situation. Again, I don't know, this is all speculation, but either way, I am excited, and I really, really do hope that the Riot Squad, the Squad, Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, and Ruby Riott get to hold the tag titles eventually. If I can't have it my way, and if they can't be the first ever tag team champions, I'll be okay. I'll complain for a bit, but I'll be okay. As long as they get to hold it somewhere down the line. And the same thing applies for the Iconics and Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, because like I said, to me, those are actual tag teams. And this is no disrespect to Bayley and Sasha, because if you guys know me, you know that I'm a huge Bayley mark. She's my absolute favorite wrestler. And for those of you who don't know me, well, now you know. She's my absolute favorite wrestler, so it's not that I don't want her to hold gold, because I do. But I just think, as inaugural tag team champions, again, it should go to an actual team. So let me know what you guys think. Am I wrong? Do you want to yell at me? Do you want to praise what I said? Not praise what I said. That's a weird word. Do you agree with what I said? Just let me know. Let me know in the comments down below. Everything is welcome. And if you like what you listen to, I guess, please make sure to subscribe and hit the bell. That way you get notifications every time you post. And To those of you watching already, again, thank you. Trust me, I have big plans for this channel. I have lots of ideas brewing. It's going to be fun. I might get to work with a few people that I've always wanted to work with. So we'll see. If all goes well, things are going to go great. Either way, I'm looking forward to posting content for you guys regardless. So thank you for joining me, and have a nice day. And remember, stay happy, but most importantly, stay addicted to the squared circle.